Hello and welcome. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on NewsX. On the night of the 6th of May, India carried out Operation Sindoor, a decisive and measured strike against terrorism. With surgical precision, our forces decimated 9 terror hideouts, neutralizing over 100 terrorists. This bold operation sent an unequivocal message. India will not tolerate Pakistan-sponsored terrorism on its soil. Exactly 1 month later, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has made a visit to Jammu Kashmir and unveiled a slew of developmental projects worth 46,000 crore rupees. He's unveiled the highly anticipated Chenab Bridge, now globally recognized as the world's highest bridge. But this visit was not just about bolstering Jammu Kashmir's infrastructure. It also stands as a symbol of resilience, hope and progress. Exactly what the valley needs right now after horrors of Pahalgam terror attack. The PM made key announcements, including a compensation of 2 lakh rupees for families whose homes were damaged in the Pakistan shelling, in a bid to usher in a new era for Jammu Kashmir. The Prime Minister has also unveiled mission manufacturing as well. Let's quickly listen into the highlights from the PM's speech today in Katra.
साथियों, आज 6 जून है। याद कीजिए, 1 महीने पहले, ठीक 1 महीने पहले 6 मई की वो रात पाकिस्तान के आतंकियों पर कयामत बरसी थी। अब पाकिस्तान कभी भी ऑपरेशन सिंदूर का नाम सुनेगा तो उसे अपनी शर्मनाक शिकस्त याद आएगी। हमारी सेनाओं का मेक इन इंडिया पर भरोसा, सेनाओं ने जो कर दिखाया, अब वही हर भारतवासी को दोहराना है। इस साल के बजट में हमने मिशन मैन्युफैक्चरिंग की घोषणा की। इस मिशन के तहत सरकार मैन्युफैक्चरिंग को नई उड़ान देने का काम कर रही है। साथियों, जिन घरों में बहुत ज्यादा नुकसान हुआ है, उन्हें अब 2 लाख रुपए और जो घर आंशिक रूप से क्षतिग्रस्त हुए उन्हें 1 लाख रुपए की सहायता अलग से दी जाएगी, अतिरिक्त दी जाएगी। हमें एक और संकल्प लेना है। जो सामान भारत में बना हो, जिसमें हमारे देशवासियों का पसीना लगा हो, हम सबसे पहले उसे ही खरीदें। और यही राष्ट्रभक्ति है, यही राष्ट्र की सेवा है।
Joining us now live is Major General G.G. Dwivedi, Strategic Affairs Analyst. We also have Major General Rajan Kochar, Defence Expert, joining us live. Madhav Nalapat, Editorial Director of the Sunday Guardian, is live with us. Dalip Kaul, Kashmiri activist, also joins us live. Major General Dwivedi, let me make a start with you first. Your first takeaways from the Prime Minister's message today. His first address in J&K after Operation Sindoor. It was a message of hope, resilience, but also resolve. Major General Dwivedi, can you hear me? Okay, I think we're having some connection issues there with Major General Dwivedi's connection. Major General Kochar, let me quickly draw you in here. Now, clearly a push for infrastructural development being made today in Jammu and Kashmir. Clearly the government is determined that economical upliftment is a policy against terror. People will not take to terror if there is economic progress, development and transformation, as we have seen in J&K. And this has been done obviously despite the terror attacks that Pakistan has continuously tried to perpetrate in the Union Territory.
Thank you, Uday. Very, very important discussion because Jammu and Kashmir is towards progress. Today I can see how much of development is taking place in the state, but it's a work in progress. It's a long way to go. And every incremental steps which the government is taking is going to contribute towards the return to normalcy in the state. Uh, having been there a number of years, number of tenures and all, I have got Kashmiri friends. I interact with them regularly, and the thing is, today in Kashmir, what the people need is development. What the people need is jobs. What the people need is how to sustain a good living there, a good educational institutions, and opportunities. So I think, considering these kind of steps which the government is taking, these are steps in the right direction. And why I'm actually saying it is because what happens in Jammu and Kashmir is a reflection of a comparison or a comparative analysis what is happening in POK. Because moment you start showing a mirror there to the people in POK, you will see for yourself, there will be a kind of a surge, or a kind of a yearning on the part of the people of POK to also start comparing themselves with their brothers and sisters. After all, they are brothers and sisters only. They are relations. One is staying in POK, the other is staying in Jammu and Kashmir. So the bonding is very strong. Apparently, we may call them Indians and Pakistanis, uh, but these bondings cannot be taken away overnight, and they are still there. And they maintain their contacts, they maintain their relations and all. So seeing this, what the Prime Minister is sending a message today to the people of J&K is that today is the time where we have to stay united, when we have to be together and work towards the development of the state. And it cannot be only a government-centric approach. Uh, it's a two-way traffic. The people also have to come forward and contribute to the growth in the state. And signs are already apparent. The second aspect is the instability on the border, because that is also very important. Any kind of development which happens in a state, it can easily get a setback with one or two incidents which are happening through the mechanism which is existing in Pakistan. So I think that is also a very important point where we have to build up our intelligence network. I'm talking from a military point of view right now, because the Prime Minister spoke from a social, from a political point of view. But it is also very important to have this fusion, a civil military fusion, a kind of a relationship in Jammu and Kashmir. Because unless you do that, because unless you have a fusion with the people and secure the borders and get the support from the people in identifying those terrorists who time and again are able to infiltrate, and if we get that information of these terrorists from the locals, then it will be a great step to curb this activity. Because we have seen, if you recollect, after Operation Sindoor, there have been three major encounters in the valley. And these encounters have met with great success. We've been able to neutralize about 8 to 9 of these terrorists. And earlier, this information was not coming through. But now, these sources are coming forward and passing on the information to the military leadership and the military units. And I'm sure this beginning has been made. In due course of time, we will see a more concerted change taking place in the valley. Thank you, Uday.
Madhav Nalapat, let me rope you in here on, of course, Prime Minister's messaging, to both the enemy and to the people of the Union Territory that was directly hit by them in that Pahalgam terror attack, an attack now which has been avenged through Operation Sindoor. What was the messaging according to you?
Well, the messaging is that J&K is not just an integral part of India, it's also very important to the Prime Minister. And that is why I'm sure he ensured that the longest ever rail bridge gets built. And I mean, it's amazing. It's an amazing feat of engineering. And the message is very clear. Prime Minister also has said that what is needed is self-reliance. What needed is production in India. That includes production in Kashmir as well. And frankly, I think that is a very, very strong message, a very necessary message, and it is encapsulated in this wonderful bridge over the Chenab that we are seeing now in our operation. And trains will be going back and forth, and it will be, I think, wonderful, really interesting to drive to be in a train and go and into that bridge and come out of it, because it's almost like you're traveling in the sky. It's fantastic. And this is a sign of many that the Prime Minister regards Kashmir as a priority and has always regarded peace in Kashmir and absence of terror in Kashmir, of course, in the rest of India, as a priority. So I would say, Uday, you're perfectly right. It's a very strong message delivered by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He's addressed it to the people of Jammu and Kashmir, but there are many other parts of the country where similar development has taken place. And I think the message is today economics is in command, terrorism is not in command. And why only POK? Look at the whole of Pakistan. What's happening to Pakistan? It's falling to pieces compared to India. So it's not only looking at POK, which frankly has been very shabbily treated, but the whole of Pakistan is falling apart. So I think that the people of Kashmir are quite clued in to social media and to this kind of images, and they realize that India is a far, far better option than Pakistan ever was and ever will be. Frankly, a country that's unlikely to remain united for very much longer. Uday.
All right, let me in fact quickly also join at this point Dalip Kaul. Dalip Kaul, as far as, of course, this model of Naya Jammu and Kashmir is concerned, that the government is determined to fulfill and see into reality, how much progress has been made suddenly, rapidly in the last few years. Is there a disappointment as well that this could have been done earlier and wasn't? And also, Dalip Kaul, as far as, of course, this push for infrastructural connectivity is concerned and economic progress, how effective is a tool like this against terror?
Uday, I think this is the biggest day in the history of India. Today, now really the Kashmir has got connected as the Kashmir to Kanyakumari. We have proved it on every path of this country. And the message which has been given, it's clear that one side, the other side of the border, they are playing a negative role in the development of economic development of their state. Anyways, look at us, in spite of the threats from that across the border, we are towards development. And I think this is a message for the people of Jammu and Kashmir also, how the distance of 272 kilometers, which used to be covered earlier in 12 hours, now by around 10 hours and now be done in 3 hours. So there are tremendous boost to the economy. The people of Jammu and Kashmir, primarily horticulture, tourism, which will go beyond imagination, I tell you. So the message is very clear that Kashmir is and will always be the part of this country. It's a message that we don't look upon what negative you think to do there. And we have proved it today. You see that the longest bridge its height is more than the Eiffel Tower. The time might have been taken more, but that is what this government strategy has been different. They have prioritized it on the basis of the need of the country. It is not only for this only. It will rather boost many other things when across the border would like to bring this harmony in our country. So message is clear that this is the phase of economic development which is going fast. Kashmir is progressing fast. Naya Kashmir is on the way, and Jamhuriyat and Kashmiriyat is growing, and it will grow, and we'll believe it and we'll make it.
And the Prime Minister said very clearly, Major General Dwivedi, let me try and rope you back in here. I believe you're audio issue should be sorted now.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
Major Dwivedi, the fact is that the PM said that the target and the objective of the terrorists was very clear. They wanted to stoke unrest. They wanted to stoke communal tension. They wanted to impact the economy. And that is something we're not going to allow.
Absolutely, Uday. In fact, since 1990, that is what be the narrative of Pakistan, that they try to grab Kashmir through force, then they resorted to proxy war. And the proxy war has number of dimensions. The first dimension is that to cause fear or psychosis among the people and also ensure that no development takes place. So that was the narrative that Pakistan had tried to paint, and this has been going on for the last 3.5 decades. But now, from the 6th, 7th May night, the narrative has changed because we try to teach Pakistan a lesson by giving rap on the knuckles. We did Duri, we did Balakot, but I think Pakistan did not get the message, and therefore a very strong message had to be conveyed. And I think that has been extremely successful because we should not get involved too much into what damage was done, how much we suffered. But the point is that we conveyed a very strong message to Pakistan that in case you don't stop the proxy war, you will have to pay exorbitant price. And more importantly, the Pakistan military has been brought into the ring because they were having a field day, they were having a free pass. There was, ceasefire on the line of control, and they were sending the terrorists at will and regulating the proxy war. So the point at issue is first and foremost today that we have conveyed a very strong message to Pakistan military, and that's what matters because military runs Pakistan. That should you continue to do this, then you will have a price to pay. Point number one. Secondly, Uday, development is the tool to defeat terrorism. Development is a tool to defeat proxy war. And that's exactly what Pakistan has been trying to do, that to impede the process of development. And I think these infrastructure projects are ongoing. There is not one bridge that is going to change the destiny of Kashmir. It has to be a constant process. And more importantly, security and today economic development are linked. Today, if there's no security, there can't be any economic development. So therefore, we have to ensure that there is a normalcy in Kashmir. Only then will the development take place, and prelude is the security. And my last point is, infrastructure is the key to development of a country, to its security. Because if infrastructure is not in place, then you cannot actually deliver. You cannot actually deploy your defense potential. So therefore, this has to be the highest priority across the board. And coming specifically to Leh and Kashmir, where I've done multiple tenures, time has come, we need to give all-weather connectivity to Leh and Ladakh. Zojila Tunnel is still a work in progress. The Padam, Nimu and Darja access is still a work in progress. Therefore, we need to give total impetus. All I can say in my concluding remarks is that infrastructure development is the key to defeat Pakistan proxy war. Second point is also the key for self-reliance and also to emerge as a big global player. And the last point is today we are talking about dual-use infrastructure, means economically it benefits the civilians and militarily it also augments our defense potential. Uday.
Yes, indeed. Now, going back across to you, Major General Kochhar as well. Major General Kochhar, as far as, of course, the transformation in the areas close to the LOC also are concerned, how helpful has that been for army movement and for, of course, the deployment at the border? It is very important to have good infrastructure in areas close to the LOC, LAC and IB, isn't it? And that is also something that has been prioritized by this government.
You're very right today. The border roads, first I'll talk about the roads because the communication network is extremely important, and this includes the bridges, the helipads, the roads, and the building of our defenses there. There has been a concerted drive in the last about 10 years or so, I would say that. We had a budget of, BRO had 3,500 crores 2 years back. and it got increased to 7,000 crores, and now it is close to around 8,500 crores. So it has been a gradual increase of budget for the BROs, and major projects like the Zojila Pass also has come about. If you would recollect, if we had to maintain our forces in these areas, we had to resort to advanced winter stocking. And advanced winter stocking means that for 6 months there is a road closure,
Yes.
and only from the month of April, May, it starts till about September or latest October. So after that, there was no movement of any convoys for the replenishment of ammunition, everything, except air movement was taking place. But air, it's not possible to transport in such volumes and numbers. So I think there has been a great impetus to infrastructure development, and a few months back, the Raksha Mantri has inaugurated 11 bridges in the Ladakh area, in those areas, because those were the areas where the accessibility was a problem. Line of control accessibility is not a problem. The problem was more onto the Ladakh side and Arunachal side. So that has been catered for. Coming to the line of control and Jammu and Kashmir, because the question
Yes.
actually pertains to that
Yes.
specific area. Uh, there has been a tremendous amount of road building activity. There has been a tremendous amount of amenities, small hospitals coming up in these areas, small schools coming up the area. The primary schools and the secondary schools are in a cluster of villages. You will find a school there now, and the education has started, because see, it's extremely important. Unless we start educating these young children in the right manner, they
Yes.
will not fall to those kind of influences of radicalization which is also
Okay.
taking place. And my last point is this Jamaat-e-Islami terror funding, and all the accounts have been sealed. The stone pelting stopped overnight. So all these are very cumulative measures to ensure that the youth radicalization is brought to the barest minimum.
And that's something that has been
Education.
happening on ground. Absolutely. My thanks to all of our guests
Yeah.
for joining us. We've run totally out of time. Let's slip into a short break.